Okay, so have you ever like completely butchered an order in another language?
Ah, yeah.
Because I was trying to order, a coffee in this cute little cafe. I wanted to say café con leche, and I wound up with like a plate of churros.
Oh, no.
It was a disaster, but also pretty funny.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me wish there was like a roadmap for learning a new language.
Yeah. Well, like a guide to get you from lost in translation to fluent and confident, right?
Right, exactly. And that's exactly what we're diving into today using this super helpful framework called the CEFR.
The CEFR, so the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages.
Yeah, it sounds super official, right? But trust me, it's way more exciting than it sounds. Think of it less like, a boring textbook and more like your own personal language learning quest guide.
A quest guide. I
Yeah.
like that. So it kind of breaks down the whole journey of learning a language, in this case English,
hmm
into these manageable levels, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the best part is it focuses on what you can actually do at each level.
Yeah, like real world skills.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, I can conjugate verbs in the subjunctive tense. Like, who does that help, really?
Right, exactly. So how does the CEFR actually help you, set those achievable goals?
Well, that's where these can-do statements come in.
Can do statements.
Yeah, so they're kind of like these specific and practical descriptions of what you should be able to do at each level.
Okay.
So, like, let's say you're at the A1 level, which is like the beginner level, right?
Yeah.
A can-do statement for that level might be, I can introduce myself and ask basic questions like, where are you from?
Right.
Or do you have any siblings?
Okay, I see. So instead of just this big, scary goal of like becoming fluent, you're kind of checking off these smaller, more concrete achievements. That's a really cool way to stay
It
motivated.
is. Exactly. And you know what? It makes the whole learning process feel more like a game, right? Like you're leveling up your skills with each can-do statement.
I love that. So it's like each level in the CEFR is like a new level in our language learning video game.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't we walk through the levels, kind of get a sense of what this quest looks like. Okay, so we've got our levels, we've got our can-do list, but how do we actually like conquer these levels? What are some, training tips that we can use?
Well, one thing I see a lot in the research is the importance of immersion.
Immersion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like surrounding yourself with a language as much as possible.
Right, got it.
And one of the easiest ways to do that is, listening to podcasts, for example.
Oh, podcasts,
Yeah,
definitely. Big fan of those. I mean, hey, you're learning English right now just by listening to us.
exactly. And the best part is you can find podcasts on literally any topic you can imagine.
Seriously, anything. True crime, history, even like niche hobbies, you name it. And you know what I love? You can just kind of pop in your earbuds and multitask, walk the dog, do the dishes, even hit the gym.
Absolutely. And don't forget about all the different accents you can find in podcasts, too.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. British, Australian, Canadian. It's like traveling the world without even leaving your house.
It's true. But, listening is just one part of the puzzle, right? We also need to actually speak the language if we want to get fluent.
Oh, yeah, that's always been the scariest part for me. Like, what if I make a mistake? What if people don't understand me?
I totally get it. And you know what? That's a super common fear for language learners. But honestly, one of the best pieces of advice I've come across is this idea of just speaking from day one.
Speak from day one.
Yeah, don't wait until you feel ready because that day might never come.
Right.
Just start speaking, even if it's just a few words at first. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
It's like that saying, practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really good advice. But I'm curious, besides just randomly starting conversations, are there any like strategies for actually getting that speaking practice in?
Well, something that really helped me when I was learning English was finding a language buddy.
A language buddy, so like a gym buddy, but for, speaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone you can practice with regularly in a low pressure environment.
That's a fantastic idea. And, with all the online language exchange platforms these days, it's easier than ever to find someone who like matches your interests and your skill level.
It's true, and it can be a lot of fun too. But speaking of technology, there are also so many amazing apps out there that can help you level up your English skills.
Oh, the apps. Okay, yes. Duolingo, Babbel, those are game
For
changers.
sure. And they can be really helpful, especially for things like vocabulary and grammar practice.
Okay, but let's talk about, how to actually use these apps effectively because I feel like it's easy to get stuck. Like in Duolingo, for example, I can sometimes get caught in this loop of just repeating the same basic phrases over and over again. Okay, but let's talk about, how to actually use these apps effectively because I feel like it's easy to get stuck. Like in Duolingo, for example, I can sometimes get caught in this loop of just repeating the same basic phrases over and over again.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's easy to kind of fall into a rut if you're not using those apps strategically.
Strategically. Okay, so like what's the strategy?
Well, take Duolingo, for instance.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how it keeps bringing back those words and grammar points you kind of almost forget?
Oh, yeah, it's like it knows when I'm about to mess up.
Exactly. They use something called spaced repetition.
Yeah.
Basically, the app is designed to help you remember things long term.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
It is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got apps like Grammarly, which is another favorite of mine.
Oh, Grammarly, yeah, for typos.
It's great for typos, but it actually goes way beyond that.
It does.
Yeah, it analyzes your writing, gives you suggestions for, improving clarity, tone, all that good stuff.
So it's like having a writing coach in your pocket, essentially.
Pretty much.
Okay, that's amazing. So we've talked about podcasts, language buddies, apps. It's like there's a whole arsenal of tools we can use to level up our English.
There really is.
But at the end of the day, how do we personalize this? How do we take all this information and make it work for us?
That's where I think those can-do statements are really helpful.
Oh, right, right. Those can help.
Yeah, remember those.
Yeah.
They're not just for, check it off boxes. Think of them as your own personalized roadmap.
Okay.
Let's say your goal is to reach a B2 level in English,
Which means?
which means you can understand, the main points of complex text.
So like reading a news article or watching a TED Talk, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So if you want to personalize your learning, you could pick a B2 level can-do statement that really speaks to you.
I like that. It's like you're choosing your character skills in a video game.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part is you're in the driver's seat. You decide what you want to learn and how you want to learn it.
It's all about finding what works best for you. I love that. Okay, as we wrap up here, is there one final thought, one golden nugget of wisdom you want to leave our listeners with today?
How about this? Just imagine you're able to connect with people from all over the world, share stories, ideas, experiences, all because you decided to learn a new language.
It's like unlocking a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. It's not just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It's about connecting with people.
I love that. It's so true. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or in our case, maybe a single hello.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for diving deep with us into the CEFR. This has been incredibly insightful.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, remember, no matter where you are on your language learning journey, every bit of progress is a victory. Until next time, happy learning.